Welcome to the West Coast Speakeasy, Vancouver Island's finest.
I'm with tattoo artist and owner of Ivy Tattoo Studio, Jessica Scott. Hey, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, long time in the making.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a little bit with, with a couple weeks ago, you were able to make it, and we made it happen, which is awesome. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Scheduling sometimes can be a bit crazy.
Yeah, it's
Especially
all good. Life of a tattoo artist and mom, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just start about like, hey, you tell everyone how you started your journey as a tattoo artist.
Yeah, I always drew. I was like the artist kid growing up in school, and actually went to university and got my bachelor's in biology and psychology. And I mean that just I'm sure you've heard it like 100 times. It kind of takes you nowhere. You have to like keep going.
Anthropology, right here.
Yeah, right. So yeah, with that in mind, I was like, I have student loans, and I actually started doing construction and ended up working in Newfoundland and building a house
Really?
out there, yeah, for 2 years. And throughout that build process, I really like discovered that like did soul searching. I like started meditating. I was reading like the Eightfold Path of Buddha, and I started anchoring my values on my body with like my first sleeve tattoo. Trying to put like really positive, inspirational shit because I like doing like mindset work.
Yeah.
And by the time we were finished building the house, I looked at my partner at the time, and they had 10 other lots subdivided ready to go for us to keep building. And I was like, I'm not into it. My soul is not into this. I think I want to move to BC because I had been learning about the culture out there. And so, yeah, I moved to BC, and I had a job interview go horribly wrong, like as wrong as it could possibly go. And so I took a hiatus. I was like, okay, I'm just going to paint and eat chocolate and hike in the woods and just like heal.
Yeah.
And while I was in the forest, like literally out of town, this guy tried like talking to me in the park, and he was like, nice bird. Cause I have a phoenix on my shoulder. And I'm there with my dog and I'm drawing, and I'm like, I'm not talking to strangers today. Like, I'm just antisocial. And I end up going for a hike up a mountain. I break my sandal and have this moment of gratitude. And on the way back down the mountain, here I am with one shoe. This guy is getting on his motorcycle, and he tries to talk to me again. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I saw you drawing on the beach." I'm like, "Okay, what do you want?" Like, and he was like, "Yeah, I own a shop in town, and I'm looking for an apprentice. And I see you have tattoos and you were drawing. Like, how'd you like to come and check it out?" And I was just like, "Yes, pick me." I had been meditating literally every day for like 2 years on the idea of like making my life as an artist and making a living that way.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it was amazing. I had huge paintings already prepped and ready to go. The minute they let me bring artwork in the door, I had like 5 foot by 5 foot canvases. I was just like ready.
That's cool. I wonder if we could just move the mic a little closer to you.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So how long did you start with them right away?
Yeah, pretty quickly. Yeah, as soon as I was able to like think about it for a night, I usually like try and sleep on really big life choices. But I knew it was the right fit. It was what I was looking for. Um,
And did you know what your style was going to be like right away, or is that something because you're very nature based, right?
Mhm.
So was that like an immediate thing, or did that just come to you over time?
It definitely grew over time. I think initially in the industry, you have to be really humble. You have to like be grateful. You have to work hard. You have to like take every job and say thank you and like spend the long hours because it takes like 10,000 hours to master a skill, and nobody wants a janked up tattoo on their body. So you have to just like really just go for it. And then naturally, like over time, I think when you do something that you love, you do that better. So it was just kind of, it showed
Right.
that like my best work was like the stuff that I would already paint.
Right. Okay. So how do you think your styles like developed since it started?
Well, I definitely really dove into the realism and the black and gray realism probably like 4 years into my career. I actually finished my apprenticeship with that one person and then worked for another artist for 6 months. He was a second runner-up on season 2 Ink Master and did a lot of realism work with rotary machines. So I was really honored to like work with him for a bit and just learn all the tricks. Yeah, and it made it like fun because wasn't as damaging on the body. Like tattooing with the old school machines can be really, really hard, on the hands, hard on the body. Like you're holding this thing that's vibrating, right? And you're like, stay still. So yeah, getting another mentor was just like another way of making that art just feel more natural when I was doing it.
Right. And so when did you decide to open up your own studio?
Literally COVID.
That's what did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world was ending, so why not take a huge leap of faith?
Yeah.
The pandemic changed a lot of things for a lot of people, but I was working for a shop at the time that unfortunately they weren't managing their finances appropriately. They weren't cleaning enough to my standards. They weren't really being considerate of like the wide variety of clients that you would get for like the style of music that they would play. It's like, the cleanliness and the money thing is a pretty big deal. And for my clients, the music was a big deal for them too, right? Like you can genuinely feel tortured if you're getting tattooed somewhere painful and the music's like screaming at you. So I remember like they didn't pay us our final paycheck and he owed me like thousands of dollars. And several of my paychecks had bounced before this. And so I just thought, I'm going to either keep complaining about this for the rest of my life or I'm going to change my life. And I decided to take it like a university course. I just sat there and I wrote all the documents, my entire procedures, and got licensed and have never looked back.
Amazing. And how does that feel now? Like to have your own business, your own studio must be pretty freeing in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you get used to the risk of being self-employed after a while and it starts to feel really fun. I think that there is always an element of like, you can't stop pushing, right? Because the work is coming, but you have to always make sure that you're producing as well, right? Like I could tattoo day in, day out and do nothing else. But if I don't make posts and share the artwork,
Right.
the question I get the most is, are you busy? Are you busy? Are you busy? Like, yes.
Insanely busy, I'm sure.
And I'm grateful for it because I don't know what I would do. Well, maybe I'd grow a lot more plants, but I already have a problem with that. I love tattooing. I could never imagine stopping now.
Yeah, that's cool. And like, is there a part of the process that whether it's like the design or actually doing the tattoos or like the reveal after that you would most look forward to at all?
The actual like starting of the tattooing. It's like everything else is really serious. And then when we actually start, then it's like my body kind of knows the process.
Right.
And I get to just dive into the artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like relax a lot more.
Yeah, I think so because after a while it becomes like very natural, like the whole rubbing your stomach and tapping your head of tattooing.
So what's it like with the clients and the kind of like relationships that you end up developing with them? Because we were talking earlier about, and I've been thinking about that a lot. It's just tattooing is a very unique job and a unique career, and it's such an intimate thing with people, and you're spending all this time like really up close and personal, and then having like hour-long conversations with them. So yeah, I imagine like you really developed this very unique kind of work relationship and probably end up becoming like, very like decent friends with people and that kind of stuff. So yeah, how do you find that?
Most of my bookings are like 4 hours at a time. Right. And I'm really grateful that I started counseling at like 13 because I feel like you are kind of like this tattoo artist therapist sometimes, right? By the end, I know everything about that person and they probably know everything about me because I don't hold back either. Like, why would I? Yeah. We're having fun.
So it's really quick, right? Because it's like you're not often just sitting there for 4 hours with someone, just like talking about your whole life story or what's going on, like all the issues you're having, at the moment.
Yeah.
That's very, it's very
Health,
different.
wellness, like, how are you sleeping? How are your relationships? Like, yeah.
What about the pressure of, like you're putting a piece of art onto someone's body, but it's a permanent piece of art. So what's it like dealing, with that kind of pressure, I guess to do a good job, and then also, like that you don't totally mess it up. And they're not pissed at you, like all that, and you're constantly having to manage them, right?
Yeah. It becomes like that stress becomes very normal, I think, after a while. But what I've done to manage that is I am very structured with my routine.
Right.
Like the days that I tattoo, I have to do certain things before I tattoo so that I've set myself up completely for success. Like I have to work out for 30 minutes. I have to walk my dogs for an hour. I have to have the same fucking thing because then I won't get bloated. I won't have gas. I won't be hungry. Like I literally have this like system now so that I know that I've taken care of all my needs so I can completely be there for that person for like, 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, because we don't really take breaks.
You know what?
No, you want the person to like be in as least pain as possible. So once your endorphins are pumping, you stop for like 3 to 5 minutes max.
Right.
Enough to pee, drink water, have some sugar, keep going.
Wow. So it's like a full on, 4 to 8 hour like extravaganza.
Yeah. Once you're in it, you're in it. There's no clocks in the shop. This time just melts away.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't have a tattoo yet, so
You're like a Porsche without a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
That's so rare now.
I know it is, right? Yeah, it's like, especially in Victoria, I don't know about other places, but like everyone's got multiple
At least
tattoos,
one.
it feels like.
Yes,
Yeah.
statistically speaking.
So I'm an outlier still.
You are. Yes, you're unique.
And so, what about like some crazy stories from when you did tattooing? I know you mentioned there was something you had in mind about, like either awkward spots or strange requests. Why don't we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, so I've learned to really put my opinion and ego to the side when it comes to like strange content in a tattoo, because I've done tattoos where I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
And then the person's so happy they bring you a card after and you're like, okay, you love it.
Yeah.
That's all I want for you.
Mhm.
I would say the most colorful experience that comes to mind was a longtime client of mine came from out of town and brought her boyfriend who's never had a tattoo before. And he says to me, for my first tattoo, I would like you to put a smiley on the tip of my penis.
Jesus.
And I'm thinking, you don't actually know what you're asking for,
No.
like at all. You have no idea. So I'm like, okay, I'll call your bluff. I'm going to tattoo your missus for the next 5 hours on her inside arm, like super tender, like sensitive area.
Right.
If you want to still get tattooed after watching her suffer for 5 hours, all right, let's see.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do it. And sure enough, the freaking guy still goes through with it.
Really?
Yeah.
And like, how did you feel about that request?
Well, I thought I'd be totally fine with it because I'm around nudity so often. But it's the logistics of how you tattoo a penis that eventually I was like very keenly aware that like there's a foreign penis in my shop. That was the moment I knew I could never do porn. I was like, I'm not comfortable. There's no way.
And like, do you have to hold on to it?
So I had her get him hard while I'm turned around setting up my tattoo gear, and then I put my gloves on and I would turn back around and like go to tattoo him. And if he goes soft, then I would turn back around and she would have to get him hard again.
Jesus.
I know. And it was like, and then they're like, so what about aftercare? And I'm like, well, you have to keep it clean and dry. So no sex on this trip? Like, you're welcome. I just cock blocked you.
Or showers or anything, yes.
No, yeah, like showering's fine, but essentially you just want it clean and dry. So yeah.
And so was that like that wasn't really awkward for you?
Yeah, it was definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like, don't look him in the eyes. Like, don't look up.
Yeah.
Like, that was the moment I knew. I was like, this is the line for me.
Yeah, if there is a line, I mean, I don't know what could really be beyond that.
Butthole. I've never tattooed that.
Have you been asked?
Yes, but the person was inebriated, so I'm like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, we'll see if you follow through, right? Yeah.
So that's the thing. Tattoo the butthole.
I don't even know anymore. I feel like everything's a thing.
Yeah.
If you get on the internet, people get crazy ideas.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I actually had a coworker tell me that she had a friend who was a tattoo artist, I think, who had the same thing. Like a guy asked her to tattoo their penis. He had to get hard, and then he ended up like ejaculating.
No, that's so much worse.
It
Oh,
is.
my
Well,
story.
I mean, you could, but like, you could see how that could happen.
Oh, he likes pain.
Yeah, I don't. And yeah, pain wise, that must be excruciating, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, there's no two ways about it. You're putting a needle into that area.
How long did that? So, like, how long did it take to do that?
Like maybe 3 minutes, maybe 5
Oh,
minutes.
because it was just like a smiley face.
It's the winky smiley with the eye open. So the eye open was the hole. So I just had to do the little the creased eye and the smiley.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was
Funny.
yeah, you only live once, right?
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, I'm sure he was thankful that he didn't turn down.
But he had the balls to ask for a touch up, and I told him to get a real tattoo.
Yeah, like fuck off.
Like that was fun.
What about like a story that a client has told you while you're tattooing them that like really stood out?
Oh, there's been a lot. Yeah. I feel like there's so much like energy and story exchange when we're tattooing that without breaking confidence and like going into details,
Yeah.
if anything, I feel like it just makes me really seize the moment
Mhm.
and know that like nothing is promised in terms of time.
Right.
Like we feel like we have so much time on this planet, but nobody knows. We really don't know. And it's really good to just like hold your loved ones and
Mhm.
like smell the flowers, feel the sunshine, like say yes to
Yeah, absolutely. So is there a story someone told you while you were tattooing them that relates to that?
Literally today, this morning, I did a memorial piece for someone who passed away in their sleep, a perfectly healthy woman, just never woke up again.
Wow.
She had a grand mal seizure and never woke up.
Oh, wow.
And
And this was a family member and a memorial to her thing. Yeah.
and like there's no indicators, right? And gosh, I've done a lot of pieces like that where you're
Really? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because like just the nature of the industry is that like I encourage the tattoos to be meaningful, right? That's the soul food. I
Right.
want this to mean something,
Mhm.
So obviously people are going to come with sometimes a bit of heartache or a bit of heartbreak, and
Mhm.
hopefully that like the experience can help heal them, right? I can be a part of that.
Yeah. I had one of the first guests I had, he was a mural artist, so with spray paint
Yeah.
here in Victoria. Then I think he's done a lot of stuff. But a whole bunch of the things he's done are, memorial pieces for people in his family. And he was talking about how healing that was. Like, as soon as he started doing the murals, um, how it allowed him to like let go of their passing away, or like very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Essentially, he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something like transformative with art, and I think like I'd love to work with like a psychiatrist or someone one day to really kind of dive into like that, why talking about your pain while going through physical pain somehow transforms it and takes it out of you,
Oh,
or
that's
it lessens it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it time and time and again, and I've done the same thing. Like I've gone through a painful experience, or when I've been in like a great state of stress, and then I've like gone in for a tattoo appointment and the person's like, "Do you want to rebook?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. Like I need this today."
Yeah, that's super interesting. Like, I wouldn't have thought of the describing pain while being in pain, or talking about it while you're having it done to you, and the pain, the experience that the pain is actually helping you, right? Like it's
Yeah.
actually there.
Yeah, somehow it like almost lessens it or takes it from an emotional to a physical, There's some like magic there. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And actually, yeah, the guy I had on, his name was Alex. He was talking about the art being or the painting being ceremonial almost. And so yeah, I can see how it can become like a really spiritual process or practice, especially when they're like these very like meaningful pieces that people ask them to do.
Early on in my career, I became like very aware of the seriousness of like what I was doing. And because I was already kind of into spirituality and meditating, I ended up tattooing the words love and thank you on my hands, because I learned that one hand gives energy and one hand takes energy. Actually in dog training, but the same thing works for acupuncturists. So it's like a thing in the energy community. And I wanted to do everything with love and gratitude. And if I'm putting my hands on you, and I want like the shop to be a sacred space, and I want the process to be like a healing one, like with intention.
That makes sense. And having your own business, like you have so much more control over that aspect, which which must be nice.
Plants and crystals and like, yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
And is there like, are there any shops out there? Because you're in Saniston, is it?
I'm not, I don't think so. I'm kind of like a house cat though. I haven't poked around to see what my competitors are doing. I kind of am like in the zone.
I know in like Sydney, because I've been Sydney a lot. There's one there that's like downtown Sydney. Go,
Oh yeah.
but you're not that far though, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, you've got like a stranglehold on the on the North Saanich.
Area maybe.
And like I think like when you have a good artist that you trust and you have a good relationship, like people are willing to travel. Like I've been humbled time and time again how far someone will travel to get a tattoo from me. Just to like have 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, you drove that far, you took a ferry and you drove that much, and like
People that you've had before that you already knew, or these are like brand new?
even new clients. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Huh.
So what's been like the most challenging, other than the penis having the most let's say like technically challenging?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh, definitely like I think of like neck tattoos, or I think of this one piece where this client actually like custom designed his own like Celtic knotwork into a phoenix. And it was so much a collaboration before AI.
right. Yeah.
Because now it's a game changer. Yeah, we actually like I brought him in for what should have been his tattoo session, and we sat there designing for like 3 hours together. And the whole time just going over like every little part, because he had this like vision in his mind, and I was like, I just want to get it right.
Was it like a really large tattoo?
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah. Wow. And it's cool that like every piece basically is a collaboration.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of my goal is to give someone the opportunity to really like have a voice in that process, because what I've seen in the industry is that like, yeah, as an artist, you draw something and you get butthurt if someone doesn't like it, but it's not about you. That person's got to wear it day in, day out. They got to wake up every morning with it. And so like I've even been told, no, you can't make changes to a piece of art
Right.
that's going on your body.
Yeah.
So I think now, thankfully, we live in a time with technology, and making changes and being accommodating is easier than ever, right? It's like, you can show me like 3-4 reference photos and I'll get halfway there and then I'll send you that and I can make changes easily. I'm not drawing till midnight on a piece of paper,
Yeah. Right.
praying to the gods that you're going to love it. And, I don't send it to you at night because I want to sleep, and then I'll show you the next day. And if you make changes, it's going to be an hour. You got to go away and come back. And yeah, it's so much easier now.
Yeah, that's good. I could see it. And then especially like you were saying with AI, you can literally have it like make up idea. You just like type an idea out, it'll fit something back to you, and then you can like tweak it and kind of go.
There.
A lot of my clients are using AI to start with the initial idea.
Right.
And then they're like, I want to edit this about that, or I want to add this to that. And I'm embracing it. Like, I know some people might have like mixed feelings about AI, and I definitely think that it's probably not helping us for the music industry.
Right.
But yeah, as far as like conveying an image in your mind with words is already challenging enough. right? So it's like if we can get there with visual mediums, then we're just going to get closer to what's in your heart. And that's my goal, is to tattoo what's in your heart on your body.
Right. So, like, has anyone ever had like come to you and they have like an emotion they want to turn into a tattoo? You just sort of, that just got me thinking there. Like, maybe they didn't have like the core idea, but it was like something they were feeling and you guys had to turn that in to something.
Yeah, I think so. In like, I think of this one neck tattoo that I did for somebody, and he wanted to have like a certain feel for his look, but didn't have a specific vision for his neck.
Right.
And so we did half of his neck, and then he went home, and he came back a week later and was like, "Don't hate me, but I don't love it."
Right.
And I'm like, "Okay, what can we do to change it?" And so we came up with a new game plan, and we went over it with I think it was like dot work initially, and then we did paisley, and we got through all of that. And then he went home and he messages me again. And he's like, "Don't hate me, but I don't like it." And at this point, I'm like, maybe I'm not the right artist for you. Like, I don't want to let you down again. And he's like, no, no, no. Like, I love your work. I love your work. And so finally, I kind of got down to the core of like more of like what he wanted to feel like, more like hardcore, more masculine or whatever. And
Right.
I got a different set of Polynesian inspiration. And finally, the third time neck cover, we got there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a really hard one because his neck was fused, so he couldn't even move. He was kind of like stuck. Yeah, so
Crazy.
it was tough to get in there.
Yeah, the neck. Isn't that super painful?
Yeah, definitely in the top 10 ouchie spots.
Right.
Yeah, anywhere thin, anywhere bendy,
Mhm.
nervy.
Yeah.
So has there ever been like, a client you had, or a piece rather that you did, where they sort of like that, where it didn't really work out, or you get a lot of criticism about it, but then like it later on ends up like it helps you grow, or you end up feeling a lot better about it later on, but at the time, maybe they like, oh, this, I really don't like this, or they were complaining about it or something like that, but it helps you in the long run.
Kind of, yeah. Like I'm really blessed. I have like a lot of really happy clients, I think, because I will like do anything to make sure we get there.
Right.
But one story I can think of in particular is this lady got a casino chip on her arm, and it got horribly infected. It was like done in Cuba or something. And so she came to the shop and she wanted a light blue flower over this red casino chip. And I was like, that's not possible. And she's like, well, I want what I want.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, well, just so you know, we're going to be like doing this like 20 times before we get there.
Right.
And, I sent her away. I made her put lotion on it daily. I was like, the skin's not ready. It's like so upset still. And we did the tattoo, and sure enough, the red would show through the light blue, because if you know anything about colors, that's just doesn't work. It's not like painting a wall. And she was luckily like very understanding of like trying to set expectations. And like 7-8 years later, she's gotten like 2 full sleeves and her legs done and her chest done, and she's gotten like all these flowers on her now she's super happy with. But we had to keep doing that one freaking blue flower. Like for years, I would see it like 6 months later, a year later, and we just like touch it up again,
Oh wow.
touch it up again. She's wanted that light blue.
And is it just like, do you just have to keep touching it up?
There's a kind of rule of thumb, like you want to wait twice as long each time. So like if I tattooed you week 1, it's 2 weeks, and then 4 weeks, and then 2 months, and
Right.
otherwise you risk scarring the area further.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to have someone who's very invested to do like a 20-part tattoo.
Well, if you know women, we want what we want.
Yeah.
That's true. Have you ever had to deny anyone like something that like you just weren't comfortable, or like a style that you just won't do? Like, is there?
Yeah. So like, working in another city before, like obviously, anyone approached me with like gang stuff, I
Oh,
would
right, yeah.
have to be like, no bueno. And there were some requests that were just questionable. Like I remember this one kid wanted me to make it look like his neck had been tortured by chains.
Yeah.
And he was like, in his 20s. And I was like, you don't,
Maybe not.
talk to me in 2 months, right? And by that time, he had spoke to enough people in his circle that someone talked him out of it, and he changed his mind. Yeah, because I was like, it's not a good long-term commitment, right? Like face tattoos, generally, like I won't do it unless you're someone who is like completely covered.
Right.
You're like over 30, you know, like your career is set. There's no risk that this is going to like ruin your life. You know, neck tattoos as well. You kind of want to like, I'm like very cautious with that. I want to make sure that I'm like leaving all those doors open.
Right. So does that come up a lot then? Like when people are asking you to do things and you question like their motivations, or if they're just like maybe in like a very emotional state and are, you know, saying they want something that in the long run might not be the greatest idea.
Not anymore. I would say, yeah, like early on, because people would just like come in for a walk-in tattoo, right? Like before you have a name for yourself, you're just like there to serve the people. And they would walk by on the street and they'd come in and they'd be like, I want this banger. And you're like, okay, let's do it. But now it's very different, right? People have already like looked me up and they see like I'm posting the things that I want to do more of.
For sure.
Right. So if I did a job where I was like, oh, that was tough, I don't know. I'm not going to be like spamming the internet with something that I didn't find, you know, enjoyable or something that I would excel at. Right.
So what do you want to do more of now?
Anything furry, anything wrinkly, anything, any flowers. I love animals and I love like nature scenes because I just get lost in details, like textures and I fucking love tigers. I just like
Tigers.
yeah, I'm fully obsessed with tigers. Any big cat.
Yeah, you've got a few of those on your Instagram, I think.
Right.
Yeah. I've been obsessed with tigers since I was a child. Like nothing's changed.
Is that one of the most challenging animals to do, or like?
I mean, not to me, but I think that's just because I've seen their faces so much.
You've done a bunch of them at this point and
Yeah.
kind of have it down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What about, is there anything that you have yet to be asked to do that like you would really like to do?
Yeah, sometimes I have like saved inspiration images. I think what I'm slowly finding is that I'm moving more into like hypercolor realism. And I'm finding that really, really fun. And I was scared to do that kind of stuff before because it takes forever.
Right.
Like you're sitting someone down for like 3-4 hours to do a space that's like 4 inches by 4 or 5 inches, right? So it
Is
just
that because of all the shading, or?
yeah, it's very time consuming when you're going. You have to literally tattoo dark to light, so you have to like leave all the spaces for all the lighter colors that are coming, and you have to rinse in between each color. So there's like the technical aspects of it is much more time consuming. It's like seconds add up, and next thing you know, it's been hours.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So would that be kind of like Shauna's tattoo, I guess? Is that considered hyperrealism?
Like colorful.
Colorful, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very cool. And I guess you have more and more people that are kind of searching out that kind of thing now, as opposed to like the black and white.
Yeah, I think because I'm also sharing more of the color pieces that I've done. But yeah, they see the paintings or they see like the other artwork that I've done and they're like, oh yeah, you can do this.
Yeah. Right.
And as most of it's all nature related because the island has like such a like spiritual, hippie, earthy vibe.
Very earthy, definitely.
Yeah.
And so is that why, because you had mentioned that moving here was pretty intentional. So was that was part of why you ended up in Victoria?
Yeah. There were 2 options. My partner was looking at going to school either in Kelowna or in Victoria. And so I did a guest spot in Kelowna and I did a guest spot in Victoria. And I kind of came back to him and I was like, we can't move to Kelowna. We have to go to Victoria.
Is there a big difference? Like, did you find a big difference in what tattooing was like for you versus like Kelowna versus Victoria? A big difference between the two?
The cultures. Yeah. Like Victoria, it's like you can literally be anything. You can dress any way you like. You can present any way you like. Everything is very accepted. There's like a huge artist community, lots and lots of support, just like nature and parks and trees for days. And I didn't spend much time in Kelowna, so I feel like my opinion is pretty skewed from my like small experience. But the tattoo culture, at least where I was exposed to, there was a lot of drugs, and not really something that I would think to be like a positive influence anyway.
No, especially not like while people were tattooed.
Not that I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, just yeah.
As part of like the broader sort of scene or culture.
Yeah, it's definitely a party city.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I was like,
Makes sense.
yeah, it's just not like I know like for my own personal growth, like where I want to go
Mhm.
and like what I want to build. And I want to start a charity called Happy Hearts one day. And I want to grow vegetables using hydroponic towers with automated systems. And I want to have like this little hobby farm and the tattoo shop's going to be there. And I was like, the whole thing is kind of grown out of this love for like the community and the art and the farming and the Victoria vibe.
So tell me about the charity.
It's called Happy Hearts.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, so I really want to use those vertical growing towers, and they require like very little power. They can use solar panels and like tiny little
Mhm.
pumps. They produce tons of food with lots of water conserving and no soil or very little soil. And I'd love to have an element in the greenhouse at the back that's more of like a jungle kind of walkthrough experience. People have found it very like relaxing and connecting to like meet my animals and see the gardens
Right.
when they come to get tattooed.
Definitely.
And it's kind of opened my mind to this healing experience that comes with interacting with nature as well as, getting tattooed.
Mhm.
I never thought that a hobby farm and a tattoo shop could go together, but I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like people would meet my chickens and like see my hydroponic system and like my tomatoes and my vegetables, and then they'd pet the dogs and then come and get tattooed, and it's just like this very I don't know, it's like a heartwarming experience.
Yeah, it definitely adds like a very different element to what you have going on there for sure. Which is, I'm sure people would be drawn to that.
Yeah, I thought it would be weird, but it's just the right kind of weird. And I'm not the only one thinking this way. So that's the best part, is the more people I'm telling my dream about, the more like-minded individuals I'm finding. And like people in Ontario are having similar visions
Oh, right.
where they want to do vertical growing in greenhouses. So yeah, the charity will donate the food to the breakfast programs for schools.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
I'll probably end up saving a few animals, if I have land.
Or getting more, like, you think you'll get more animals?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. I already have 2 dogs and 2 cats, and
Nice, nice.
I've got a 1-year-old, so I'm pausing right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I mean, Sanderson with like the bigger, are you thinking it like out there?
Yeah, I wasn't sure where I was gonna go location-wise, but I'm realizing that because they're mandating all these units to go in that are several stories high, they're raising the building height restrictions, right? Which is perfect for my giant greenhouse.
Right.
It's like a multi-story greenhouse.
I do want to possibly grow a coconut tree in there, which can get up to 80 feet. Not that I want an 80-foot ceiling, but like if I could get like 40 to 60 feet, I'd be all right with it.
That'd be wild.
I do plan on digging down and going up against a hill so I can use the landscape.
Oh, so you like really thought this through.
Yeah, I'm really heavily inspired based off of the Eden Project in the UK. They've done 2 giant earth domes there, and it's a huge educational experience where they label all the plants, and each plants help you with different things. Like you would take this if you have arthritis, and they have like a sculpture there of like all the garbage that one person would make in their lifetime. It's wicked. It was so amazing. And they have different climates in the different greenhouses. Yeah, but
Wow.
So then you'd partner with people on this, or
I would definitely have like a board of directors and partner. I don't imagine anything is built alone like that.
no, for sure not. So would you have to buy like another piece of land, or
Yeah, I would. The charity is actually like a corporation when you start a charity in Canada, and so I would purchase the land under the charity.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I would probably like rent myself the space in the tattoo shop. So everything just goes back to the charity. I'm still learning. This is my year of research. There's lots to put together, but luckily we live in the information age. So
For sure. And so like when do you have like a rough timeline for like when you want to try to get this off the ground?
yeah, like this is 2026. I'm like pulling the pieces together, putting the feelers out because I think I need like a minimum of 5 people on my board of directors.
Right.
So I'm kind of gathering that. And then I want to start next year to open the charity and start writing all the business plans. I have
Right.
drawings at home of like sketches of what it's going to look like. And
Very cool. I'm sure there's a lot of people here that would be interested in something like that.
yeah, it's been really fun. Yeah.
Cool.
And so, and we were talking about though the difference in culture between Kelowna and Victoria. How have like if you were to talk about the tattoo community, like the artists, is it like very supportive and tight knit here in terms of like knowing a lot of other tattoo artists and that kind of stuff, or is kind of just like everyone's doing their own thing?
I think it really depends on each person and how much you put yourself out there. Like going to a couple conventions, I found it to be very supportive, very fun.
Right.
And yeah, they are kind of a tight knit group, the ones that get together. But it's really easy to just be in your own bubble if you don't want to interact, right? But Victoria is beautiful like that. It is very supportive. Yeah. I found that like most artists, they want to help each other out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you don't have plans to hire anybody.
No.
No.
I had an apprentice. It's tough when you invest and you put years into something and it doesn't pan out. And I think I'm in my mummy phase now.
Yeah, right.
My baby's only 1 and she won't be a baby forever. So
No, totally.
I want to kind of just enjoy that and put my energy into my art with my clients and then be available for her.
Oh, definitely.
Have you had to like take a decent step back from like how much tattooing you can do? With that?
Or
No, not at all. I work from home. I'm so lucky because I can design and do artwork while I'm with her.
right.
And then I'm just downstairs for like, 5-6 hours, maybe 8 hours tops. I can pop up and say hi and give her kisses. And
Mhm. Oh,
yeah,
that's nice.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and like I'm supporting the whole family, right? So I was able to take time off and my partner took a year off so that when I would work, he was there for her. So
Right.
Wow. So you've got like the whole package, everything dialed down pretty nice. Like, yeah, being able to work at home, that's enviable, right?
it is. Yeah. I mean, like getting out of the house is also fun sometimes.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm like, oh, we have to do groceries? Sweet. I get to drive?
But being like out where you are is kind of cool too, because it's rural. So it's driving around, but there's like farms everywhere and it's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel really blessed. It was a happy accident that I ended up moving out there. I didn't want to move, but my landlords took away our backyard when I was like 5.5 months pregnant. And when I get mad, I get things done. And I was like, if we're moving, it's got to be 1% better. And it is so much better. Yeah. The beautiful, beautiful farm area.
Mhm.
Yeah. So good for like raising a kid.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm wondering, is there anything like, well, it sounds like you meditate and do lots of stuff like that, but stuff that's outside of tattooing that you use to kind of help ground you and stay sort of sane? And, we live in like a very strange time right now. And so I try to often ask people, like, what do they do that's different, like outside of their core creative thing, their job or what they're working on, that really helps them ground and yeah, just kind of stay calm with all like the chaos that's going on and the constant barrage of insane news and like all this terrible stuff that seems to be happening all the time. Anything that you do?
I feel really lucky to get a lot of different perspectives on world events, right? Because while we have the one narrative that we get from the media, I also get a little bit of insight from working with like the Navy or with working, with like emergency response
Right.
workers. And I think that like overall what I've learned is that this is actually the most peaceful time in all of humanity. We have just been able to film it and talk about it and send it and receive it, and we have eyes everywhere now. But actually, like we're in an okay time. It's just that like there's always been war going on. And that's not to minimize like the horrible shit that's happening.
Yeah.
But it's just that we're so aware now
Mhm.
more than ever. So I like to really focus on like big love energy. Like I've dove like further into my spirituality than ever before, and almost kind of felt like a crazy person because I was like doing breath work one evening and I felt like I had like this crazy dream vision where I got all my questions answered. And I was like crying of gratitude while nursing my baby, and my partner's asleep beside me. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. So yeah, like that breath work and like really taking my taking myself out of the spinning brain and putting myself into my heart energy
Mhm.
and kind of letting that be that like calm space,
Yeah.
right? Because like ultimately, sanctuary can be inside of you anywhere.
For sure. Absolutely. It's interesting you say though that this is the most peaceful time because I often think about that as well. Like especially living in Canada, like we're super lucky and like it's very stable and most people I know have like very nice lives. But we like to think, yeah, that, things are really insane. And they are in other places for sure. But you're right, and that like really we should be super grateful for the stability that we have here and just like the opportunities. And at the end of the day, yeah, like it's very safe, especially in Victoria. Like you don't really have that much to worry about. Yeah. And I mean as long as there's no like nuclear war.
Or the volcano burps
Oh, yeah.
or those tsunamis. Like literally, the human brain is not designed to live with impending doom with no timeline.
Right.
Like we're cave people. We were never designed to live with like this horrible thing could happen at some point in the future, but we don't know when.
Yeah.
We don't know how to cope.
That's true.
There's no point in even focusing on it. You can't control it. Sure, you can have a to-go bag if you really need it, but like
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, we always joke, you got like all the little islands like all over the place here if shit really hits the fan.
I need a vote.
We got a boat. You have a boat. And we can have a spot.
Yay! I'll bring seeds. I'll grow food.
Yeah. And
Another friend that like discovered a bunker in like that they just bought a house and there's like a bunker attached to it.
As if.
Yeah. So I'm always asking them like, do we have a spot in your bunker?
Right. Are we putting canned goods in there now? Like what's
There already are. And there's like 100 years worth of canned goods there on it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we're not in a bad spot for the zombie apocalypse if that happens and we can escape off island or to the mountains somewhere.
You need one person with a gun, and then I think you got like a well-rounded plan there.
Yeah, exactly. I think might like to sort of end off with just a question for you about not so much tattooing, but like looking forward into the future. What do you want to accomplish as a person and a human? Doesn't have to have anything to do with tattooing at all, though can if you want. But I know you've already spoken about the charity, but like for you personally, what's your goal or goals? Let's say.
Yeah, I think the charity is a big one, and like somewhere in there, I just want to plant like 100,000 trees. Like I think I just need to plant a lot of trees. I save baby trees that I find, and I grow them in pots, and so eventually I'll have somewhere to put them all.
On your land or
Yeah.
wherever you are.
Yeah.
And just because you love trees or just what they symbolize or
Yeah, I literally have crazy tree on my knuckles because I paint like wild trees. But I feel like trees need to be worshipped a little bit. Like they give so much to us, and I think that we kind of undervalue, not Victoria, I shouldn't say we, because like actually like BC's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that like a sole goal is to like maybe restore a piece of property that doesn't have enough
Mhm.
like trees on it or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Maybe it'll be the farm. Who knows? Yeah.
Do you do a lot of tree tattoos?
Oh yeah.
Those are like some of the coolest.
They're meditative. You know, one of the best things that I learned about when I first started painting like big pieces was that you literally can't fuck a tree up. A tree can look like anything. You can do a purple tree.
Right.
It'll still look like a tree.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so freeing when you realize that you can just be creative and flow and there's no mistakes. It's a total Bob Ross moment where you're just like, this happy little branch here. And like, you just like go with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's healing.
Yeah. It sounds like as a job, it sounds like you're very fortunate and lucky to have the job you do. And it is like, there's a lot of very healing aspects to it.
I feel blessed. I also feel like I dove in and I went crazy.
Mhm.
Like I worked hard. I stayed late. I would be at the shop till 11 o'clock at night every single weekend.
Mhm.
I would be there and I would be hungry.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to work. I'd be willing to do anything,
Yeah.
right? Because it was like, there's your shot, right? Success or death. Like, do it.
Yeah, no, and that's an important point because with all of these creative things and lots of people I've spoken to, they all say that like the same thing. It's you sort of only see like the results on the outside or just, but you don't often get the insight into how much effort like it actually takes and how hard people have worked, and sacrifice or just like you're saying, like staying late on the weekends and really like going for it. So
Yeah, many, many weeks. Even now, I will be designing, first thing in the morning and sometimes working until 11 o'clock at night on my tablet
Mhm.
because like it's that important,
Mhm.
right? So it's like you got to put the time in and you got to work hard and nothing just comes for free.
No, for sure.
everything that's worthwhile is hard. That's saying.
Yeah, but then that's like the sweetest part, right? Like when you finally get there and you're like,
Like with all the audio fuck ups and messes and all just the little things that you're constantly trying to problem solve and get through and figure it all out at the time. It's not so fun, but yeah, once you get through it, it does like feel really good.
That'll separate you from like the rest of the crowd, being able to tolerate the frustration and like push through. And that's the success. That's where success lies in. It's just like knuckling down.
Yeah, that's good to come to that realization.
My parents are ex-military, so I feel like they just raised me like that. It's like, you work hard.
Yeah.
Well, so, and that's like at the time or when you're young, you probably thought that was like very strict and made it difficult. But now, like years later, you can kind of look back on it and somewhat be appreciative and like it, was helpful.
Oh yeah. As a kid, you're like, slave drivers, they cut the cable in the summer. What is this? And then now I hear myself talking about my like routine and my regiment and I'm like, yeah, no, that's like the result
Mhm.
of like having structure
Right.
and like showing me that structure is powerful.
Especially if you're got ADHD or some sort of neurodivergent thing like structure. I know for me, structure is like very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure I have all kinds of neurodivergent things. Yeah. And the spectrum all over.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, in that field or in those fields, I think it probably is an advantage in some ways. Being able to, get hyper focused and have a commitment to follow through on what you're doing.
Yeah. I think it's become a superpower, the concentration,
Mhm.
because I don't have a hard time staying with one topic for like 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
I don't get bored, or if I need a mental break, it's like 5 minutes and then I'm back at it. I think it's like a muscle that you get to like practice.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. So if people want to find out more about you or take a look at your artwork, message you, whatever, where is the best place for people to do that?
I have a website, ivytattoostudio.ca. I'm all over the internet though. Jessica's got tattoos. I've got the Facebook and the Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
is the most, probably like the most amount of your work on Instagram?
I'm trying to display it. The most updated stuff I would say is Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. And then my contact information is there. So
It's all there. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming.
it's my pleasure.
Great conversation, and it went very well. So awesome. Yeah.
This was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.